Okay, now let's take a moment, take a sip of water. Realize that, we're about to get busy. Stretch just a little bit. And push the go live button. I can't hide now. Everything is live. All of it is ready. It's kind of scary. Just a little bit. So, what are we going to be working on tonight? We are going to return to Cat, the Witch's Apprentice. This figure from Big Child Creatives. I started this relatively about the same time I started the stream, back in October. And we are going to roll up our sleeves first, and then we're going to start getting our wet palette ready, and we're going to talk about what kind of things we're going to tackle. Oh, itchy eye, itchy eye, itchy eye. So, sleeve gets rolled up. Take a few moments to get our base holder prepared. I have a place to place my hands. So she is missing half of her staff. I do know where it's at. It broke off when I was, I think, mounting her to the cork. So we'll have to put that back on at some point. But that time is not right now. I need to take some sip of water because it's apparently I'm super parched. Do nothing but drink all day. The moment that I decide to go live, I can't say a freaking word because I'm like, hey, what's going on? We may not need it right now, but I'm going to have carbon black out and at the ready because it's a very popular color to have at the ready. Brown can go back to shelf. I really need to remember to grab that other basket to bring it up here for dirty things so I have a place to put dirty laundry. By dirty laundry, I mean my racks. Aha! We have our paper. We are going to place it on the wet palette to prepare. Yesterday I went the other way and it didn't feel like it made a difference. So we're just going to do this. Use our manly strength of manliness. And get it to go down. Get our paper to situate on the thing. And dry our hands off. All right. I also need to grab the entirety of my box of paints to discuss and figure out what I want to work on and how I want to work on it. So, to kind of recap where we're at, the base probably needs a little bit of futzing. I'm kind of happy with where it's at right now, and I kind of want to leave it where it's at right now. Somehow I have a massive flub on her hat that I need to go back and fix. I have the cat painted up as well. It needs a little bit more purple. on some things and it should be good to go. We might keep it out just in case. But I am here at the ready, and I have all of my notes as well. What am I doing? I am going here. I'm doing a like. That's it. I've sent it several times and no one seems to have joined, so I'm not wasting my time on that. And I need to put a hair restriction device. Yeah, let's go. Oh. All right. Hair device is in. We're up, really. And here we go. So, what do I want to work on is the question of the night. One of the things that I was unhappy with was the hair. The hair, to me, is not reading as strawberry blonde, and it's reading more almost as a fire. And I don't like that. Hold on. Let me refocus this. Turn the exposure down just a little bit. When we're looking at it, I feel like it's more fire red than it is strawberry red or strawberry blonde. So we're going to have to correct that. And I think that's the goal for tonight, is to look at ways to correct it. I think how we're going to achieve this may seem weird, but we're going to try it. We're going to try to utilize a little bit of the salmon skin that we used. No, we're not. No, we're not. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that at all. That would be silly. That is not going to lead the way I want it to lead. I know that. We are going to grab our friend Pink Skin, or it is going to be our Carlacci Red. Actually, it might be Azure Crimson. Or actually, it might be this Turbine Red. It's going to be one of these three colors. Thinking about it, it's not going to be our friend Pink Skin. I'm going to put it back. And I'm going to put the rest of my paints up as well. Oh, I'm going to put the extra things up too. And we are going to look at our notebook really quick, and we're going to go, hair, I don't like that. We're going to put a big red X, put a big black X on the red, on the hair. So, where do we go with this, and how do we go? That really becomes the question, is how do we get the hair to read more blonde and red rather than, like, if I was doing a fire effect, I would be really, I would be okay with where that's going. But that's not what I want. I want a strawberry blonde, and that's not going to reach strawberry blonde at all. So the thought is we can take our moon yellow, or not moon yellow, warm yellow, with some of our sunray, and this kind of orangey yellow color is going to kind of act as our base, and then either Azure Crimson, or not Azure Crimson, whatever crimson that is, or to burn red is going to help create our shadow color. So we have an experiment to do. All right, let's get... Uh-oh, I don't think Spotify's working. There we go. Sorry, I was doing something and I got all wonky yesterday. Alrighty. Let's shake up some colors. So we're gonna shake it, 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 shake it. I need to put a agitator in one of these bottles really quick. And agitate up my reds. So this is going to be a really bright red, and I hope that it works the way that I want it to work. All right, we have gotten it all nice and shaken up. We are going to, once again, start from the left to the right. We're going to start with our darkest shade on our wet palette, going to Alzarian Crimson, as I think how you say that. So this is a really warm red, or dark red, or kind of like a brownie red. And then you can see how bright our toluidine red is. And then we're going to get our warm yellow. Then we're going to get our sunray. Oh, that's good. There we go. Alrighty. So we're going to start on the side of the face. And I need to get my brown back up. 1 second. Nope, it was gold 79 and black. I did write it down. I just didn't have it in the base. I need both black and gold 79 too, for a little bit. All right. So we get our gold 79 down. And we're going to get our black. Okay, we're going to get our brush. We're going to go with the 0 size. No. We're going to utilize a Pro Curl number 3 for a while. Get our nice round brush ready. I want some of my warm yellow. And then I want to mix in just a little bit of this red and see what I'm going to get. I don't know about that. It's pretty orangey. I don't like that. That's too much orange. Too much orange. What if I take my crimson color, some of my warm yellow? Comes a nice darker orange that we'll see if that's where I want to start and where I want to work from. And we're going to start by turning down our focus again. We're turning it up, actually, and making sure we're zoomed. What we're going to do is we're going to take some of this crimson color and our warm yellow, and we're going to base coat up one side of the hair. And I can already kind of tell you this is more the direction I was thinking it should go, because we can run red in between the strands of the hair. Bum, 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 bum. So the right side versus the left side, you can already see there's a big difference. So we'll get it to pop here in a second. But while I wait, what I want to do is take a smidge of my black, a big dollop of my gold 79, and itch the side of my neck because it's bothering me. And I want to start painting the tassels. And bum, bum, ba, 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 ba. Mm-hmm. 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 Let's brush up, and then we're going to go and return back to our warm yellow. No, I'm not in the mood. No, no, no. Down. All the way. All the way. Come on. Come on. Down. Down. Thank you. You can stay over there all night. That's A-OK for you to be. Where it is not okay for you is on the desk itself, trying to get between me and what I'm doing. As we build up kind of these colors, making sure that warm yellow is our predominant color. And to do something because the cat's decided that she's not being a pain in the ass. She's not being helpful. All right. Oh, you take a sip of water really quick. All right. So we're going to add in some more warm yellow and paint it over. Starts to build up more and more. Add in a little bit more warm yellow. And we can start to get our initial brown color popping up. Or our blondish color starting to come up. Here. What's going on? Where's it at? Can you catch it? Ah, I love you. All right, mix in a little bit more warm yellow. Just a test of that red. Just a All right, we're going to let that dry. And while we let that dry, we're going to switch back to our gold 79 and black mixture. And work our way back around on the tassels. While I wait for bits of the hair to dry, I'm just working on bringing up other aspects of the model that I need to come up, like these tassels that are eventually going to be gold. I wanted to make sure that I have them ready to go before I, while I wait for this stuff to dry here on her side of the head, I wanted to have something else to work on instead of just, hanging out and waiting for a little bit. I'm sure that sounds amazingly fine, but eh. Okay. Wait a minute. Are you YouTube? Are you okay? I think you are. Genuinely think you are okay. Um, just kind of need to see what's going on over there. It looks fuzzy as all get out on my tablet right now, but I'm not sure if it's because it's my tablet. It tends to be rather challenged sometimes. Hello! Welcome in! Intraminez, how are you doing this evening? I want warm yellow. Oh, sure. I am seeing how much I can screw up the color strawberry blonde. Right now, we have orange ish. And I want to get a nice, even, warm yellow like tone going down on it. I might want to get cold yellow. Maybe. We'll see. I am here. Was that too loud for you? Just out of curiosity. Or was that just about right? It's hard for me to tell because I turned my headphones down. Yes, this is Kat, the Witch's Apprentice from Big Child Creatives. Um, oops. I saw it around the Halloween time and ordered it with some other things, and I decided that I wanted to paint it up. And I'm not following the box art, or maybe I am. I'm just reversing a lot of the colors ish. Thank you for that. Someone once told me it was, but I never know. Sometimes things get changed. It's life happens. Life happens. It is. Thank you. It's a 3D resin print cast something. If I remember correctly when I cleaned it up or tried to clean it up. I probably missed something somewhere along the line. I saw it around Halloween time and said, "Oh, hello, thank you for that," and said, "Let me purchase this." I have the Camelot set from Big Child as well that I have yet to assemble and base and get ready to paint in 32 millimeter. Um, for whatever reason, this one has been kind of haunting my mind just a smidge, and I said, "Let's paint it up." And thank you for the follow. Uh, the exposure of the camera sometimes can be tricky with what I want it to do. I was talking with Painting Big one night or on their stream for the weekend. And we were lamenting about skin tones. Yes, she is. Hold on. One second. She's down there. She is down there somewhere. She likes to hang out looking out the window. She's being rather cantankerous and fussy today. I don't know why. She'll probably try to jump back up, and I will have to let her know not to get on my desk again in a very polite tone that may or may not utilize the word squirt bottle. Oh, sorry. Someone was yelling about the cat cam, and I got sidetracked. So we were talking about pale skin specifically. It tends to be one that is challenging to paint up because it seems so because you lack a lot of color in between parts. You're almost going to like a near white. Like my hand, I am not a pale person by any measures, but I definitely need to probably moisturize my hands. Versus my arm, which, you know, on the camera looks really gray and bland, but here for her skin tone, I'm going in a paler term, or towards the paler side of things. And it's almost like a pure white washing out. Thank you, Thought Pocket, times two. You have a great night as well. Hopefully the lords of internet are okay and sufficient with me streaming tonight. I woke up this morning and the power decided the internet. Yeah, and it's a process. So the base was originally salmon skin, and then the salmon skin had more and more shiny skin tone added to it. Based on my book here, that for whatever reason the light does not want to pick up, but I went salmon, mixing shiny, and then I have a white/ivory that never really got added in there just yet, or maybe just a hint of it was. It's proving to be a little mind-bending for me, so I decided to work a little bit more on the hair and then work on some of the golden details that go around to try to base coat in to make sure that I have nice even coats around, which reminds me I need to stop what I'm doing on the hair for a few minutes and let it dry and work on getting my thing piping going all around, because it kind of breaks up the miniature. And then the green, I will get it squared away at a later time. Oh yeah, did want to do that. Well, so the tip plates, I guess you would say, are golden. It's a green background with the golden accents. I don't know why I have my black and gold 79 out. I will. Base coat up some of that. But you can see how much this is bright compared to just this piece, which is darker. And that's why I was like frustrated with how the color is looking. So on the camera it looks almost white in some spots. The legs, I'm not super concerned about right now because from here to the ankles, they're going to have something like a sheer on that I have to eventually paint on. I just haven't gotten there yet. On a list. I just have a long stream planned for maybe Sunday. Oh, we'll see. To finish working up the Belmonth model. Paint's too thin. Paint's too thin. So we will futz and futz and futz quite a bit on this model. Because you can see the red that's right there. Oh, I mean, everything is practice. If you're brave enough, I'm not really. Everything is practice until you're, you feel that you're in the done state with it. Is kind of the motto of what I will be going by a lot of. So Belmonth, the Chimera model right there. I have maybe another 6 to 10 hours on it to go over. We'll see. But so she's been on my desk and primed up since October. I really wanted to work on her because I found it to be a interesting model overall. Just from I've never painted 75 millimeter. I've always been painting 28. Belmonth is technically the second bust, but the first one to be finished. Don't ask. It's all works in progress until we find we can't futz anymore with it. And then yeah, they are. I will paint. So I want to finish Maniko the Geisha and then one other bust this year. So Maniko's got quite a bit of work left on her as well. I need to fix her and get her back onto a base. Or back on her base, one of the two. Oh, well. Whatever, Twitch. You can just calm down. It's going to be much many things to do. There we go. It figured its life out just a smidgen. So now that this has had time to dry, I can see how the colors are playing out. So I am messing with the idea of strawberry blonde for the hair color. They're a nice change of pace. One of the things I was a little unprepared for when I was painting Belmonth's bust is how long I would spend on each section. And my brain finally caught up with the adjustment of what I wanted to do. I kind of had to think a little differently. Like, we paint some things and it's like, oh, that goes quick. Then you paint some things, you're like, oh, that takes forever. Or you don't expect to spend, half a day working on a skin tone. But then you end up spending 2 hours on a skin tone, you go, well, shit. And you need to like start making a mental contract or a mental discussion with yourself going, we're going to spread that out just a little bit more. Um, for me, though, trying to think of, unfortunately, all of my miniatures are still locked away in boxes and have not made it to the shelves just yet. I have so many posts to make in the near future. Uh, Instagram may go crazy. I am sorry, but not sorry all at the same time. One of the one of the things about working with leather is that it can be weird how you do it because leather can be very different depending on what you're looking at and how you're looking at it. Uh, Sometimes I will borrow from Vince and his methods or his ideas. Which is base coat it in some kind of brown that you want to kind of be as your mid. And then take a white, preferably off-white, something like a Mojave white from scale 75, something like Cloud Sky would be a good example, or a ivory type tone. Something more along the lines of stained ivory, not bright ivory. You could use bright ivory if you wanted to, I think. One second. I remembered where one was at. That was easily accessible. To talk about what I was going on about. So for like the gloves or the pouch right there, I'm turn up the exposure, goofball. Um, the challenge is getting the variations of textures to pop when you're playing with like leather. So using something like a off-white to like stab and stipple, and then glaze over it with another darker brown tends to help me quite a bit. It was Painting Big from Reaper. No longer with Reaper, but she created the MSP paint line. She would often do like lines with like brown liner and then put whites and darks inside of it. I don't have the model accessible right now. But I promise I did it. And it is a very interesting result and it works out kind of well. That chat helps a little bit with my slow down and let things dry. So we've gotten brighter, and it's not feeling like fire. Like the red on this side was feeling too much like the hair was on fire, and it wasn't driving for me. So I wanted to change it up, and now we're to kind of like this warm yellow, bright yellow scenario. So does that mean I can take more of my sunray really quickly and keep it thin? Um, Stay in focus and make sure you hold the model in a way that the camera can see what you're doing. We're going to keep our paint thin, and I need to get some of my thinner out as well. Just the side of my face and continue to work. You want to know something? I find myself reaching for it a lot. Out of the Chimera range, so hold on. I need to let that dry for a second anyway. The interesting part about this model and what I did with it is I kind of followed the art book. The only thing that wasn't really in the art book and written in the art book was the skull, was the bone here and the bone on the horns. A majority of this model was painted with these colors of morning sky, deep rusto, cloud sky, and carbon black. The skin tone kind of swaps out to be phthalo and cobalt blue, green. That's just that guy for the most part. At some point, I had kiwi brown and cold yellow. That essentially painted up a majority of this model for me. It's kind of crazy. The red and the magentas I don't really count because the eyes are small. Um, oh, I need the black still. It stays out. But yeah, the sunray, I find myself reaching for it quite a bit because it's a very nice warm yellow. Or like that warm white off color. I'm digging it. Because as you add it to like reds and stuff, it kind of helps bring out more of like an orange instead of getting it to pink. Or instead of jumping value, kind of like in that weird um, my favorite miniature so far that I have painted. Cannot be found right now because I think it's in a table somewhere. It's probably going to be one of the very first ones from the Reaper Learn to Paint kit. That's what I meant to grab too. Sorry. I meant to shake up some clean water slash mixing medium. Was one of the very first skeletons that Ed Pugh did, or he sculpted, which was the archer. That was a lot of fun. The next favorite, I think, was the big woolly mammoth. It was easily accessible because I see him. Was this guy? He's a cutie. Zoom out to camera. He was a lot of fun. I got to do a lot of. This is like one of the first models I really did a hard take on non-metallic metal and pushed myself on it quite a bit. But he was a big chunky boy. That was kind of fun to paint. From there, I think a lot of some of the funner ones that I've been painting here and there on stream and off stream, or before I started the stream. Some of the Steam Forged miniatures for like the uh Misty by Nico. I might have to go find that. Is it on your Instagram? Just out of curiosity. Thank you for your follow over there as well. Means a lot. Um, at some point, I may be stalking on your Instagram page, seeing what other people have found and painted. I think for myself, one of the things I'm going to try to paint as well is um, Daniel found miniatures. He did a Puss in Boots model, and I might see if I get. I want to do it. I want to paint it. It's been on my shelf for too long. Um, but I just haven't gotten up to it yet because it's going to be something a little bit more her size, Cat the Witch size, than it is going to be anything else. All right, so we've gotten up to yellow. Now, now we screw up, and we determine how we're going to screw up. This is the fun part of painting. As I destroy my entire side brush collection. 1 second. There you go. She has decided to wander back. So that's reading very blondie, or kind of like a dirty blonde. I do. I do. I don't airbrush a lot when I'm painting. I prefer hand brush. The airbrush is great if I wanted to do like a large base coated miniature. Belmoth did start with some airbrush. The Mammoth did start, and a lot of the dragons that I paint, I do airbrush a good chunk of base coloring, but I don't do much beyond that sometimes simply because I'm not wanting to go for speed. I'm just wanting to go for relaxing and enjoying the process. That's one of the things because she is reading really flat right now, especially like through here. It needs a lot of shadow and highlight because it doesn't look like there's any change whatsoever. Uh, it's on my list. I was base coating around the miniature one day, and I did a bunch of the skin, and I was not happy with how it was looking out on the. Oh look, Stream Elements is doing what it's supposed to be doing today. Thank you. Uh, I wasn't liking how much everything was washing out, so I base coated a lot of the colors around the model. Um, Shadow temperature. I might do that for something. So I don't want a lot of this red. I want a little bit. I want to thin this red down quite a bit. Hold on, I need to check something. Okay. Making sure that the YouTube chats were working just in case someone accidentally wanders in there. Sometimes I forget to check that. A little bit of that red just starts popping in there quickly. Um, so I don't want. Oh, come on. Stay in focus. There we go. Rinse out my brush. So a little bit of that red really starts adding in. Turn my exposure down again and resume. Just that little bit of red kind of helps bring the ideas together. It needs more though. This is the part that scares me to no avail sometimes. Get it nice and thin. Maybe it won't hurt you. And just a little bit of your warm yellow. Just a smidge. Make sure you're holding it so people can see. Something a little like that. It's starting to butter my biscuits just a bit. Some lines to wisp in. Well, and I hate it. Feeling too word I'm looking for. What is the word I'm looking for? The red. I haven't touched that side of the head. So that side is looking too much like fire, like an actual fire piece. This part has been rebase coating in a warm yellow with some of the red crimson to get a brown. Base coat up more with warm yellow to the sun ray to then try to introduce some more shadows or texture with hair by using some of the crimson and red. Oh, I mean the other side, if I was doing a different type of redhead, I think I would like it a lot more. My brain is really set and heart set on strawberry blonde, which is kind of weird because you go from red to nearly white. Hold on. Am I overthinking myself? Really, not now. My cat has decided to grace us. second. Browser capture source. Why am I failing at finding the thing that I want to find? I've done it before. We add a group, add a source. We add in. Hello, sweetie. Really? Hey, that is my hand. Do not bite it. I will kick you off if you misbehave. Down. You're going down. Okay, that's not going to work. But for me, shadow with ochre or burned umber. You want? I'm not really wanting blonde hair. I'm wanting like strawberry blonde. So strawberry blonde can be wild. Um, it can be brunette blonde to fire engine red, with white drops of highlights. Like the more common color that I'm thinking of is this one here, but as you could tell earlier that um, it did not want to save with a jack earlier, so let me add the source correctly. Add image. Okay. Browse. Where are you at? Download folder. Seriously? Seriously? Literally had you up there. Said okay, and I want that. So that color right there is what is it bouncing around in my head. It is a red to almost white highlight. And that's what I'm struggling with on this right here. So it looks too much warm red, or it looks too much warm, like almost like it's on fire. And that's not what I'm jiving with. I'm looking for something slightly different. I need to add this source somewhere else really quick. So that's kind of weird what I've been thinking. but it's kind of like the color that's been popping in my head. Destroy the orange with burned umber as a base coat and lighten up with sunray. I think we're using words. So Mars, orange, Doctor. The skin isn't done. The skin has a long ways to go. The skin has quite a ways to go. I'm not fully done yet with the skin. I need to saturate it and get it to a similar state eventually. This is very much. Hmm. So how do I get a faded orange and burnt umber? But I see what you're saying about the orange. I see what you're saying about the orange. Because you're looking at the Viking beard. Two brown, red, blonde. Yeah. Don't have that pigment. But itches. But working off, we're not done. But we're We're not done yet. Orange can go up. Cherry wood might be too dark. Needs a mixing bowl. Oh, what if? What if? What if? What if? What if I have a perfect match to burnt sienna? Get rid of that other image, which is useful for me, but not for everybody. So, zoom in, or enhance, or focus. Seriously? There we go. So the cherry or wood. And then what we're going to do, rebase coat it. I do not like how it was looking. Going that way. That, I think, is going to be more close to what we want to be going towards. I hope. Now, yes, I needed a muted orange. I was working from memory. I shouldn't do that. Not always great. Now, yep. We wait for it to dry for a few moments. And we look at something else for a handful. Because I like looking at other places. All right. Also, the Belmont model would be another good leather example of pushing the idea of texture. There's a lot of, when it comes to clothing, texture is the key. And simulating texture. Just want to darken up that one right there. So all right. Now we add in a little bit more sun ray. And follow this. Sun ray. That's too thin. Oh. Helps if I zoom. Helps if I hold my hand in the right spot. Zoom in and backtrack. Okay. Can I help you, child? The cat has decided that she is going to break the rules and be right on my desk. What's up? Are you okay? Is there something wrong? You had your nom noms earlier. I promise you did. Have a good one. Thank you for the advice. It was helpful. You want me to turn this on? Will that buy me a little bit of patience? Will that buy me a little bit of room? Hmm? Hmm? Can I have my desk back? I'd like to paint for a little bit longer. You have plenty of food, I know you do. Not time for your treats yet either. We have quite a bit to do tonight. Sorry, I'm chatting with the cat and trying to bargain with her. Okay, we're not laying down. That I know I'm not going to allow. What if I... What if I sit down? Will that help? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Ah, can I convince you to come sit down? Okay. Go that way. Perfectly okay, sweetie. All right. So now we're just going to add in a little bit more sunray. Step up. All right. Going to like what we're doing. I am thinking that's about where I want it to go. So we need to read base code this. I am so glad that that is working so well right now. So I've rebase coded the left side with just cherry wood right now. I'll need to get the eyebrows squared away as well, similarly, eventually. All right. Oh, yeah. Or sunrise. I think that's getting to where I want it to be. Work on something else for a few minutes, and then you can come back to it. Hmm. The other half of that is textured, right? Yeah, it is. I feel like it should just be red, though. That is screwed. Hmm. I'm doing me a ponder. Oh, I have a really itchy foot. It's driving me crazy. All right. So the hair has had time to dry. And once again, bring it up. Take a look around it. I think this side needs a little bit more attention. I don't want to glaze over what I did. Some cherry red and warm yellow. Yeah. All right. Keep working. Bring it up. Mm-hmm. Just a little bit of sunrise. I went too far. I lost too much of the base. Thinking that's a little bit better. Good evening. How are you doing, Meebe? What you got? What you got? Oh, trust me, I've been working on that. I started sitting down and I forgot to move my camera forward. Maybe that's what I'm going for. Maybe. We'll see. Thanks. Been working on the hair mostly this evening. Trying to get myself into a strawberry blonde like strawberry view that I like. It's got the reds and the browns, but I'm struggling with it just a smidge. I was able to get help from a viewer earlier and recommended the reddish brown that I'm working on right now. I was looking for something closer to that, which it's not too far off of. I didn't take a sip of water though. Yeah, it's it's a progress. It's a progress. Been live for 2 hours. Probably an hour 45 of that was me working on painting the hair and working around the different pieces of non-metallic gold, or the pieces that are going to be gold later on. I was I was focusing more on the hair because I really didn't like where it started at, and I really wanted to work on it some. And I had a various array of choices to choose from this evening. I originally started with a crimson and red and a warm yellow and a sunray. I didn't like it. I decided to settle on cherry wood and uh, sunray. I already gave some. I just forgot to move my camera. That's totally valid. There are some miniature painters that do paint with oils. I am not going to be one of them. I paint primarily with water-based acrylics. I just wanted to write down notes of myself of where I was going with this miniature. I've done quite a bit this evening. I've done quite a bit, or not quite a bit. I've just have a lot that I've been working on. Up here at one point, I decided to do red hair and go into almost an orange, but it was turning out to be too much fire-like, and I did not like that. Um, so that is where that ends. I have futzed quite a bit with this miniature tonight. I do have to return to the office tomorrow morning, so I am probably going to call it a quits here in a handful of moments after I mix up some of this gold 79 and black. I will not be painting a lot of Warhammer. I believe it or not, for the longest time that actually stayed on frame, I was using a piece of cardboard paper, and that stayed that way. When I was looking down, I would remind myself to stay in frame. I switched to the black felt because I found that it helped a little bit more with washout from the cameras for the camera itself. It's still pretty bad with this figure right here, given the pale skin that I'm playing with. But the it helps if you have paint on your brush, dipshit. Uh, so I yeah, it gets challenging. I need to move the note from where it was at there to my very highly professional green screen. But also modifying the angle a little bit may help with some of my excessive lighting that I've also been dealing with. I just need to move my note so I can always see it. I sometimes forget. Or I'll start painting like I was and accidentally be off screen for too long. I tend to remember a little bit more when I'm painting smaller things like this. Somehow it just reminds me to stay in focus more because the camera's a little bit closer down. But thank you for stopping in and chatting. It means a great deal to me. And I think I'm going to call her there tonight. I think so. You can see how much easier it is to pick up and register when it resumes. I think that's where I'm going to end tonight. Need to clean my brushes out that I used. Thank you for the follow. I shall return on Friday evening once more, potentially with primed miniatures, or potentially we will be returning back to her. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I tend to mix up quite a bit of what I'm doing depending on where I'm at. It just depends on the day I'm having. I was having a mentally gross, boring day of frustration, so I decided to struggle bust myself with strawberry blonde hair. Great plan. I am over on YouTube if you ever want to stop over there. I stream on a vertical and a horizontal format if you're ever curious and want to. I need to figure out the YouTube thing. It may be a little grainy on the vertical. It's been screaming at me about bit rate for a little bit, so we'll see. Thank you. You have a great night and hopefully see you soon.